Hey guys, welcome in to this number 2 day 2 boot camp on the business of piano tuning. I tell you what, guys, I almost forgot to show up to this myself, and people are texting me and they thought it was at 3, no 2. I don't know. It's at 1 o'clock. I'm here. I hope you guys are here. I'll wait for a few minutes as people get in, but I'll tell you exactly what we're going to do today. So welcome in. If you get in here this live stream, go ahead and put in the chat that you're here. You can welcome. You can say hello, so I know who you are. I'll give you an overview of last night. We had a boot camp hangout. And so as we're going through this, you guys can give me some input maybe on the hangout, because the hangout was at 9 o'clock Central, which is 10 o'clock Eastern. And so I guess for those of you on the Pacific Coast, it's better. It's fine. It's only like 7 or something, or 8. But was it, TJ's here. Welcome, Joe. Welcome in, TJ. Welcome, Joe. So is the boot camp too late? You guys can tell me. I could do this stuff for hours, days and days and hours and hours and days. And so I just wondered if you guys thought the boot camp was too late, or if you wanted it. Now, some of you, if you're in the UK or something, I guess it won't matter. If you're in Singapore, it's like way, way out there. So I'll mess around with times, but that's what I was kind of thinking. TJ's under $1,000 putting a lyre back together. Okay, well, that sounds interesting. Those are always really hard days. Piano lyres, they go off. So today's boot camp is going to be cool. It's going to be business. And I literally almost forgot to come to this. I was down there just eating, thinking, I'll play some Fortnite. No, my son has been coming in my office today, begging me to go. It's a snow day. He's been begging me to go, like, wherever. He's just coming up with stuff to do. And I just kind of forgot that what time it was. So I'm really thankful. Thank God I came here to meet you guys. Hey, from Denmark. I wonder what time it is there, Leo. I think, aren't we going to talk today? I think you're on my schedule at 3. Yeah, 3 o'clock. So yeah, we'll be on Zoom again. Today we're going to learn how to start your own piano tuning business. We're going to learn how much a piano tuner makes realistically. So we'll talk about numbers, how to quick start your marketing, and what exactly to do to start your business, to start it right, because you can start your business wrong. 8 p.m. Oh, gotcha. Okay. Today's giveaway is going to be the Grand Obsession. Since if you missed last night's hangout, I went through this whole table right here with my books, and I went over this nerdy little bookshelf thing. But I'm thinking this one is going to be the one I give away, Grand Obsession. So yesterday I gave away a Mute Pack. This day we're going to give away Grand Obsession, and it's going to probably just come drop ship right from Amazon right to you. This book is the daughter of a professional musician, was raised in a home saturated with classical music, but it was unlike until middle life, in the midst of her successful career as an investigative reporter. Wonder if she realized she'd missed her true calling, the piano. So she took some lessons, bought a piano, and basically she wasn't satisfied with any upright. She insisted. She fell in love with a rare German grand she discovered in New York. So she got the piano, and then she got it back home, and it was like, oh, it was terrible. So then they started doing voicing. So this is sort of a I want the in and out book. Yeah. And which one was that? I do have some other books here. I had a whole bunch of books. The one that I really liked was we talked about business books last night. Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill. I always want to say Napoleon Dynamite. Hey, Brandon, what's up? Leo, Brandon, and let's see. I'm Eric Roberts. You guys know that. I started in 2007. Emily's my wife. Augie's my son. He's trying to do all kinds of stuff. They're actually a lot older. He's bigger now. He's got bigger than that. And my wife's a stay-at-home mom. We're a single income family. I like to make that a point to say that, because it's possible. And it is because I found piano tuning. I've tuned for all these crazy people: John Legend, Harry Connick Jr., Garth Brooks. Jack's Mannequin. I did. There was this one band that called me, and I wasn't sure who they were, and I turned the tuning down, and then my friend was like, "What? What?" I'll think of their name in a minute. I can't remember. If you remember, let me know. Um, but I've tuned for all these people. The coolest thing I do here in Nashville, I work for some of the bigger studios now, and I think I don't have that slide on here. Jay Joyce, and I tuned for what was it? Was it Lainey Wilson's project last week? But all these people, it's funny because Toby Mac's guitar player lives in my neighborhood. So like I tuned his piano and he was playing a guitar and he was like, "Oh man." I was like, "That's a nice guitar." And so then I found out who he was actually Toby Mac's guitar player. So sometimes you're just there and you don't know who you're tuning for. Other times you're in the studio, you're on the stage and you're tuning for these people and some of the other bigger names like Garth Brooks, things like that. I tune for their guys, but uh, actually the craziest one that called me was and he's not even on this list. Some of these people they're not all on the list, but Billy Ray Cyrus. And I sent an email out last year. I was like, Billy Ray Cyrus called me. He called me on a Saturday morning and he like literally called my phone. And I was kind of like stunned because, it's not very often that somebody calls you like Billy Ray Cyrus. I mean, achy breaky heart. You know what I mean? He calls your phone like, dude. And I went to his house. He lives pretty close, 10 minutes away. And had this Old Town Road album, that sold like hazillion things. And I just wish I would have taken my son that day because Billy was really cool. He like carried my tools in and hung out with me for a while and like asked me to do some other stuff, other like keyboard repair. So I wish I would have brought my son because Old Town Road was like his favorite song during the era a couple years ago. And he's like, "Yeah, you should, what, I forget what he said. Take a picture of this or something." But he was absolutely the coolest dude ever, just really down to earth guy. So that's my Nashville business. That's where I live. My Dayton business is where I started in about 18 years ago. We have over 100 5-star reviews, and we are like pretty much the top rated company, especially in the Dayton market. The Nashville market, we're a little bit smaller. We're newer. We're still kind of building here. Hey, man. Hey, Dwayne. How's it going? Music Man. There's an article in the PTG. You guys kind of saw this yesterday. And then I talked about, are there really enough pianos to make a full-time yet? Yes, there are. But everybody looks at me strange whenever I say that. I say there's enough pianos. Well, let's talk about it because yesterday we already talked about how weird it is when you say I'm a piano tuner and they say, like, well, can you do that? They just don't even believe that's a thing. Like if you said I'm a lawyer, they'd be like, "Oh, great. Yeah. Whoa, that's amazing. You're a lawyer." But if you say I'm a piano tuner, then they're like, I don't get it, But looks like over the last 365 days out of my Gazelle, we have brought on 280. So we brought on about 300 new clients last year. This was from January 24 to January 25. So basically the full year of January. We had about 806 total appointments. And if you're in Gazelle, you get Gazelle, you'll have this too. You can kind of look at it. But the thing is, we had a total of 4,781 clients by 2025. These are the numbers right here. That's the new numbers. I ran those numbers, I think, a couple weeks ago. But you can see that we created 289 new clients in that 365 days. So that's a lot of new clients actually. So when you kind of look at your snapshot, you can see that that's realistically enough. Let's see what it says. It says 806, and this is between me and my partner. So we basically most of them is his work. So 806 total appointments at $175 average is over $140,000. Okay. So is there enough to make? Yes, there's enough to make a dang good full-time living. So we cut that in half. I don't work as much in Nashville as he does in Dayton. So he makes hey James, how's it going? He makes the bulk of that money in the Dayton market. The Apex Dayton is Todd. He works 3 days a week. He averages 3 to 5 per day, and it's averaging 175 to 225 per appointment. That's what our pianos tunings are. So 10 times 200, I did some averaging, is 2,000 per week. He works 50 weeks a year and bills over 100. He bills over 100,000 per year. Now this is I'm just giving you a snapshot. This is the exact number. Okay. Obviously this is what he does average. Some weeks are really big. Like the last couple of weeks, he's billed over per week, he's billed over 3 grand. In fact, his sheet that he sent me this week, it was over 3 grand in billing. This is in 3 days. So he's billing $1,000 a day. Now, that's a pretty established thing, right? That's pretty good. That's pretty established. Here's Bolster. We'll get into Bolster and you guys will see it even more. But I put on here that we had a pretty big milestone for our own platform. Welcome to Bolster. And then when you get into Bolster, you can see somebody sent me a thing, and I may not be able to find it because it was a couple days ago. But Emerson told me he had another. What do you have? Another. Maybe here it is, right here. So I put up there. We added 1,000. We have our 1,000th member signed up yesterday for Bolster. In our not all of them are in the piano mentorship. So we have a couple different mentorships. But here's Emerson. Emerson said, "Thank you, Eric. Just did another 1,000 plus day here. Couldn't have done it without you." So this is just what's going on in Apex. So of course I can look at my own business and think, well, yeah, there's plenty of money in that. And I've worked really hard. And I sometimes will think like, well, maybe you're just extra hardworking, extra special. Maybe you're the only one doing this. Maybe you can't tell people they can do it because what if they can't do it? So the good thing about it is over the last couple years, we've had some students who have hit these numbers too. That's making me feel a lot better because I can say, oh, you can do this, you can do anything. And people can say, oh, well, that's crazy. Maybe that's just a fluke. Maybe that's just in Dayton. Maybe that's just because you had like a special magical touch at that moment, because that does happen in business. You know, you could just get lucky and throw out a product and it works. And that's kind of what I thought. Oh, maybe I just got lucky. But it's not just luck. It's not that I was completely blessed too. I mean, God blessed my business and that's why it grew. But there is a system that we use. We use the Apex system, and that's what I teach in the mentorship. So these numbers I'm showing you are not just like an extraordinary number. Let me see what I have. There's other people in the mentorship. In fact, and TJ's on the live stream. He did a video. He's been in the mentorship 1 year. And he shared his whole, like how he got started and what he made in his first year. And you can go on YouTube and watch that. So first year student, launched his business, made over 50 grand that first year. So he's on path. He's on point. And I have other students that have told me, you know, they've billed 7,000 in a month or 9,000 in a month. During our conversations, I'm realizing some of you guys are killing it. So it isn't just lucky Todd, or it isn't just, oh, randomly this happened. There's a system to this. Why is it a great trade? It's $100 plus per hour. You can work in the music industry and you can do something that you absolutely love. And it's even better, it's a low stress. You can make your own schedule. You can work for the clients that you want to work for. You can set your own prices. You can be your own boss. So this is the freedom that I love. And it may be hard to imagine being your own boss, but you can be. You can literally just be like, see ya. From a van down by the river. That's the email I sent out last week for TJ. It's very low competition. And because of the ETD method you learn at Apex, you can start tuning for pay super fast. TJ started 2 months later. He started his business. He started in October, you know, trained for like November, December, started tuning in January. He was really slow in February. And by March, he was ramped up. He was making money. It's a high skill. It's a tight niche. Is it niche or niche? I like to say niche, so I'm just going to stick with but I know a lot of people say niche. I think it's a strange spelling of that word, but it equals big money. And it's because not a lot of people do it. If you look around, you can see, if you look at plumbers and electricians, tradesmen, even though the tradesmen are going lower and lower in the United States, there's still a ton of them out there. If you go, for example, I think it was Omar was in Miami, and he texted me yesterday and said, hey, do you think Miami's good? Look, like, do you think there's going to be enough work? And I popped up a Google search for Omar, and which I'll do for everyone that I talk to, because I definitely want to see what's happening. There are 4 or 5 piano tuners in Miami that I could find, had an average of 4 or 3 to 5 Google reviews. Okay. So put that in perspective. Apex has about 50 to 60 in each market. There are people that have 100 here in Nashville. There's a company that has like 100 Google reviews. In Dayton, we probably, I think, have the most of anybody. But And so if you only have 4 or 5, you're fairly new. You're probably not doing. There's a guy here that has like 180. Still trying to figure out how he got that many Google reviews, but I looked in Miami and I said, yeah, there's 4 or 5 piano tuners, less than 10 Google reviews on any of them. There's plenty of room for you because you're gonna use the Apex business model. You're gonna kind of grow your business from the ground up, and you're gonna do the snowball. We're gonna talk about more numbers. The world does need piano tuners. That's what Jack would always tell me. He's like, yeah, we're all dying. We're old. He was like in his 70s. And unfortunately, he did pass away. And I've known several piano tuners that I was pretty close with that passed away. They do get older. We all get older, right? But right now, many tuners are retiring every month. Men and women, they've been tuning for decades. They built up thousands of clients. They're going to turn off their phones. They're going to retire. It opens up a huge opportunity for you. And for me, it was a big opportunity in Dayton when I started, because there was really 3 or 4 piano tuners, and they were older, and they already had thousands of clients. In other words, they were so busy, they weren't going to take on any new clients. There's just so much work out there that's not being done because there just aren't that many tuners. In fact, I was the youngest person in the MPT. I was like 32, and I would go there, and they were all double my age, so it's a good place to be. You got schools, universities, churches, music schools, music teachers, recording studios, restaurants, music venues. And what I really love, tuning for just basic 9-year-olds. I saw like the 9-year-olds and grandmas. Those are really your best clients. Like little kids, they're not real picky, and grandmas aren't either. And they're really nice. Sometimes they'll even give you like biscuits and gravy, or like give you like cake or whatever. They're always trying to feed you like some brownies or something, So those are good clients because they're happy. They're not all uptight, like you go into a studio or sometimes these high end like universities or churches, and everybody's got these high expectations, and it can be kind of stressful. Oh, I already talked about you, TJ. Dang it. Can you do it? TJ did it. Year 1, 52,000. His business is at oakandIvorypiano.com. Okay. I think TJ's first business was called OK Piano Service, which, I was cracking up when he first sent that to me. And I was like, OK Piano Service. Yeah, let's do it. So he did. I think he started it with OK Piano Service. And I don't know where Joe is. I don't know if he's on this, but I think I was on the phone with Joe, and he mentioned he had billed $9,000. It was last month, so it was like 2 months ago. Joe did it. Joe's in the mentorship, and he's been doing this about 1.5 years. And his business is Bovie Piano Tuning. You guys can check these guys out. These are real students, went through the mentorship and kind of followed the Apex way and did it. This is his 2nd year in business. And the other day, Joe texted me. He got a call, and I got to ask him because I didn't follow up with him. He got a call from like the Washington Music Association, like we have Ohio Music Educators Association. Well, they had 21 pianos, and they had forgotten to book anybody. So they called Joe like on Thursday and said, can you tune 21 pianos this weekend? So, I mean, that's about a $4,000 bill right there for Joe. For the OME, for the OW, I don't know what you'd say, the Washington Association of Music Educators, as in OK Oklahoma Piano Services. Yeah, OK Piano. There's OK Piano Services. But Joe's doing really good, and Joe's course is coming out. I'm pretty excited about Joe's course. Joe's course is coming out this next week. Okay, next week. And I sent him this I send him all the screenshots because this is the screenshot right here that Joe's course is coming out. Oral tuning, the Apex Way, a master series course by the Apex Technicians Network. There's Joe right there. He's got a good picture. So that's going to be included in the mentorship. It's a whole course to help you pass your RPT test. And it comes out as soon as I finish editing. I'm obsessively editing it right now in between boot camps. How do you start and grow and double your business? This is a roadmap that I kind of looked at when I was looking at my business, and this is kind of what happened. I started with my first 100 clients. I was laid off from my job. I was a worship pastor. I was like working full time, and I was kind of playing around with piano tuning. I was my origin story is, out there in the webinar, but I was kind of tuning a little bit. But then I got called in on a Monday morning, and they said, "Hey, that was your last day. Sorry, you're fired." It sounds terrible. It's like Donald Trump, like, "You're fired." That was like, "Well, we can't pay you anymore. We're out of money, and like you've already trained everybody up here. We're just gonna let it go. We're just gonna let it be on autopilot." So I was so ready to be fired anyway from that church. I was ready to be done. I'd been there 4 years, and I was just like, I was ready for a change, and I knew it. And so I wasn't really surprised. I was kind of messing around with pianos. I was kind of feeling like, man, I don't want to work at this job anymore. I want to do something different. But I didn't really have the guts maybe to go quit. Like, hey, I quit my job. I was making good money, and I just didn't. But then when he said, "Hey, we laid you off today," I was like, "That's it. I'm done. I'm not doing it. I'm not going back. I'm not sending out more resumes. I'm not going to do any of this stuff. I'm not going to try to get another job. I'm going to just go ahead and I'm going to make this work. I'm going to make piano tuning work." And so I started, and I said, if I can get one tuning a day, that would be about a $500-600 a week, which is a little bit less than what I was making. But I was like, I'll be able to survive. I was like, I just want to survive. One piano a week. Or day, I mean, one piano a day. And I just started telling everybody I tune pianos, and I just started going and doing it. And then I got to that, probably within that first year, I had one piano a day, and I was doing okay, and I was surviving. That's all I really cared about at that point. I was like, okay, I can pay the bills. I'm paying them. I'm just hustling. And I thought, well, wait a minute. I'm bored most of the other time because one piano a day is like maybe 10 hours a week. So I was like, well, I should maybe I'll do two a day. I could do two of these a day. That'd be easy. So I said, I made another goal. I'll do two a day. And so the business went from 0 to 100 clients, and then it doubled again. And I've kind of done the math as I looked back. I doubled my business for the first like 3 to 5 years, 3, 4, 5 years every year. So then I had 400 clients in my third year, and then I had 800 and then 1600. And now, like you saw, we're over almost to 5,000. It stops doubling at a certain point if you can't, because I was one person. So I got to a point where I was tuning by year 3 or 4. I was so busy. I was like, I was turning down work. I wasn't able to answer my phone. Wasn't able to get to all the appointments. There's only so many hours in a day. I was starting to near six figures income, maybe like 60, 70,000. And this is before we did our big price increase. So I was like, okay, I'm just going to hire somebody. My friend said, well, quit turning down work. Just show me how to tune pianos. So I showed him, and that was Todd. Now he's running the whole Dayton market. So he learned in a couple months and started tuning. And now he's, certified and gone on and done a lot more stuff. But he just wanted to work. He's like, quit turning down work. I was like, man, I'm turning down work all the time. My phone would just ring and I would just end the call. I just wouldn't even answer it. So I hired him. I brought on Barb. She's our inboard administrator. She does all the internal onboarding new clients. And so she answers like all the voicemails and emails and texts. And so now there's 4, I think there's 4, there's 3 of us here in Nashville, and there's 1 there in Dayton. So there's like 4 of us now, but I do think that I'll talk more about scaling, this into a business, because there are techs that do that, like I did, that say, okay, I'm going to take the clients now and I'm going to get more techs, and it's a different thing. Most of you guys are going to be solopreneurs, and that's really, I'm still not sure, scaling past myself, it's just a lot harder. So get your business built up, and then you can decide, do I want to scale past myself, or just want to work? Most piano tuners work alone and they don't scale up. They just don't do it. Most of them, I'd say 95% of them don't scale up past themselves even answering the phone, or their wife's doing it. But in this new era, there are a lot of younger techs out there who I see scaling. So you can build up your clients and then scale up and make even more money, or make what you call passive income. But right now, when you're just getting started, let's say you charge $150 a tuning, you got 5 tunings a week, that's $750 a week. So your yearly income is 10 hours a week, and you're making 37,000. Okay, so you can call this a side hustle, weekend warrior, or growing this to full time. This is, if you're actually working a job, comparing this to a real job, you would work 41 hours at $18 an hour. That's how much it would take you to make this much money. So if you worked a real job at $18 an hour, it would take you over 40 hours to make 37,000 a year. If you tune pianos, you could work for about 10 hours a week and make 37,000. So you can cut this by work a quarter of the hours and make the same amount of money as a standard, average job. And we'll look at some job numbers here. The per capita income for the United States in 2020 was 59,000. So who knows, after 2020, the strangeness of 2020 and all the stuff, that was 5 years ago. It's probably still the same, or maybe it went down and it went back up. But around 60,000, let's say, in 2020 was a per capita income for the United States. So you can make above the per capita by working 9 pianos a week. So tuning fee of 175. This is turning up the gas. You're still working part-time. You work about 9 pianos a week. Your weekly income would be $1,500. Your yearly would be $78,700. That is above well above 10, 59, 16. That's $20,000 above per capita. But you're only working part-time. You have time for family, time for creativity, time for ministry or volunteer work. Guys, I'm making this bigger because this is really what Apex was for me. This is what piano tuning was for me. I could take my son, do daddy day. I could do, work when I wanted to. If you saw my ad on Facebook, I got heckled over it because I said, make your own hours, pick your own clients, set your own prices. It's all true. That's what I did. I didn't I didn't go to my boss, hey, can I take off the weekend? Or, hey, can I take off Tuesday afternoon and go to the museum? No, I just did it. And I was able to do that. And I was making 20,000 above per capita in the United States for people who work jobs. And I did say stay to the end of this, not because it's awesome, but also because I'm giving away this book. I think I said that in the beginning. I don't know. Maybe I did or didn't. So you're turning up the gas. Or let's say, dude, you're looking at me and like, well, 78,000 is good, but I want to do more. I want to get more money. I want over 6 figures. Let's talk about the numbers of above 6 figures. And you can get there. In fact, I was in a conference and one of my mentor teachers said, and this was in 2010, he said, if you're not making 80 grand a year, you are doing something completely wrong. And I was like, wait a minute. I was thinking, well, that's a lot of money. I was only making 40 or 50 in my full-time job. And I thought that was good. So when he said, you can make 80,000 a year, I was like, oh, no, okay. So show me how. I was like, this is when it started, the lights started coming on. But this is go big. This is the long game. Tuning for 125, tuning 15 pianos a week. Your weekly income is 2,600. If you do repairs and upsells, which you will using the Apex model, you're looking at another 250 to 1,000 per week. And then you work really hard all year. You're probably working closer to full time. You're still probably not working 50 hours a week or whatever. 3 years of flat growth. Well, we're going to build this up. Yeah. Music Man, we're building this up. We're going to build this. But to build, you just want to keep going. And I'm in the mentorship. This is just specifically, I think that's Dwayne. In the mentorship, the business boost, the catalyst program, and then we're going to be going on to some of the things I talked about last night in the hangout made me realize I need to write those down because for TJ and for Dwayne too, you got to do these early things I did, like sending postcards and doing Gazelle reminders. All these things matter. And on my walk this morning, it was 9 degrees. I was walking my dog. I realized if you send out postcards every month, let's say you send out 100, let's say you have 100 clients, that's all you have, and you send out 100 postcards, it's going to cost you about $100. And that seemed to me, in early days, that can feel like a lot of money. Oh, I got to waste $100, send out these postcards. But then if 10 or 15 or 20 of those people rebook, let's say off the postcard, and they will. So if you send out 100 and then you get 25 tunings that month times 175, you've just made $4,375 off of that postcard. So you have 100 clients, and that would be, let's say 100. That would be, to be fair, that month of say April, you're going to send out maybe out of your 100 clients, maybe there's only 10 or 20 of them that rebook. So you're going to send out 10 or $20 worth of postcards. And if you get 5 or 6 tunings, you're going to make $500-$600. You can keep scaling that up. So let's say that you have 1,000 clients in your total list and you're doing about 100 a month. That's pretty good. You're in this pretty good. So 15 a week times 4 weeks. So that's 60. This is only having, this is only 60 times. This is only having 720 clients. Let's make that specifically. If you have about 700 or 800 clients, this is the kind of money that you can make. This is under 100 clients or 1,000, under 1,000 clients, because every month, if you do this 15 a week, well, that's 60 a month. 60 times 12. And I know some of you guys are like, oh my gosh, what is he talking about? So about 700 to 1,000 clients. That's what this is. I'm going to put that on here. I need to add that on here. 700 to 1,000 clients. This is 750 to 1,000. But you can do that with this. Okay. That's what you can do. I mean, this is really the real important math here, guys. Building your business and getting this up. It's something that you can do in a couple years, especially if you're doubling. you can't make all this big money if you're not doing a lot of the big stuff. You're not doing like upsells and all that. And we're going to get into that. So I wrote this down, a day in the life. And some of my students, like I said, they're saying, hey, I made $1,000. I made $600. I made $800 today. How do we do it? I leave my house around 9 o'clock, and I've got a couple of these. This is like a normal day. I leave the house about 9:30 in the morning. Maybe I get to my tuning around 10. I like to get up a little bit. I get up earlier than that, but I don't like to rush out of the house. I like to hang out, do stuff, work in my office. So I don't like to start tuning before 10 usually. But it's whatever you want. Some people like to get right on it at like 8 a.m. But this is a day in the life, a standard day. I get there about 10, take a tuning, make 225. Take a break, tune a piano at noon with a pitch race, that's 325. Eat lunch about 1:30, repair pedal and tune at 3 o'clock, that's 275. That's pretty simple day. That's 3 appointments, 875, and I'm done well before 5 o'clock probably, okay? 3 o'clock, I'm tuning and working on the pedal, probably home by 5. Now, Nashville's tough because there's lots of traffic. And if I don't get home before 3, it's pretty hard it can just add time. So there's some kind of stuff that you have to deal with. But typically in Dayton, there's not as much traffic. I could easily do this, be done before 5. 875 would be a typical day. Okay. Yeah. TJ says I'm at 9, 11, and 1. Home by 3. Yeah, that's good. That's good. That's real good. Let's look at this one. A simple day done by 12:30. Leave the house about 8. Tune 1 piano at 9. Make 225. I go directly to my next tuning, 11:30 or 11. Then I'd be done for the day. Go to lunch, go home. So this is really more my better day, like the day that I like better, because I get to, hurry up, get up there, get to my tuning 9, bam, done by like 10:15, head over there, hit that 11 o'clock tuning. And then, it's like probably like 12 o'clock at that point, and I'm done. And I've got 450 for the day. Here's a regulation day. Here's what it looks like when I'm making a lot of money, doing a really easy I pack my lunch, I pack my truck, I leave by around 9, I get there around 10. I set up my tools and regulate the piano. I work about 4 hours while I listen to Joe Rogan. Okay, so I put in my headphones and I'm just quietly listening. This piano right here, beautiful studio. It's a house. Actually, it actually got blown up. The ceiling got blown up by the bomber that bombed the Nashville like 5 years ago. And that's Nissan Stadium right there. This is like a big building, but the windows were all blown in by the bomber. It's crazy. So I was working on this piano, cleaning it, regulating, and I think it was insurance. This back one right here, this is Jay Joyce's studio. This is one of the old pianos in his studio that I was just putting these pictures in. I guess the pictures are interesting, but I'm done. I eat lunch while I'm working. When I regulate, I'm done by 2. I head home. I make 1,075 to 1,400. So I changed the pricing this year. So typically make 1,000 to 1,500. It's about a 4 to 6 hours. It's really 3 to 6. I mean, it just depends on the piano. But I'm listening to podcasts. I'm just sitting there. I go out in my truck. I eat some lunch, or I just sit there and eat in their living room, or whatever I feel like. If I feel comfortable, I'll just pop open and eat my sandwich right there. But I like to pack my lunch to do this because I don't like to leave. I don't like to have to leave and go back, and stuff like that. So you can make even more money using upsells. So repairs, you make about $100 an hour. Piano cleaning, you make $375 to clean a piano. Grand regulations, 1,075. I raised the price, like I said, to 1,500. If you want to, you can raise the price. Back in 2010, I think my mentor was charging 1,500 to regulate. And when he said that, I thought, that's insane. That's crazy. What in the world? But that's just what it is. You use the upsell sheet from Apex and you tell people your piano needs regulation. And they say, what is it? And how do I do it? On the back, it explains everything, and you tell them how much it costs. And you can charge anywhere from like $650 to $1,000 to $1,200, whatever you want. You can test it out and see what your market holds, or you can just do whatever. Restringing a bass section, 1,800 ish. We do that. You can do that in an afternoon. Here's how you increase your income. $150 tuning turns into a $600 cleaning. $1,000 regulation job, $650 for new key tops. A basic tuning turned into a $2,600 rebuild a couple months ago for me. So I went to do a basic tuning, and it turned into a $2,600 rebuild because there was a mouse or something in there, and all the pins were rusted and all the felts were disintegrated. And so I said, we've got to do all this. And it was like this old piano here that you see in this picture. It wasn't that piano, but it was that kind of piano, that era. And so I replaced all the key tops. I did all the bushings and all that. And it took me 2 days, 2 afternoons. I glued this bridge cap right here. It was $1,000. It took me a couple mornings. And when I say a couple mornings, I mean, I went over there, I flipped the piano over, I got it prepped, I glued it, I left, came back the next day, did the rest of it. So it's a couple hours. It was $1,000 job. It's not like I did take a couple trips over there, but it was like, I had to just, and that's a piano tilter. That's a big, heavy piano. It doesn't look as big. I'm 6'5", so this thing's huge and heavy. So I tilt that over. So those are the things you can learn as you go through the mentorship, how to do these bigger jobs and make more money, because tuning is your bread and butter. But, you want to do more than that. You want to make any more money. If you guys have any questions during the stream, just pop them in the thing there. All right. A successful business checklist. Here, I'm going to go through some of this. And this is sort of like business training. We're getting close to sort of towards the end where we'll talk about some other stuff. You got to have a good website with a clear call to action. So book a tuning now. If you visit TJ's website, you'll see all of the websites that are good have a book now. And so they can book right through Gazelle. You want a simple Google Places listing, and you want to keep it up to date with up-to-date information. So you got to get as much up-to-date information on Google Places, as many 5-star ratings as you can get. A professional printed condition report will help you bill and upsell work. That's basically your key. The first time I handed that to a client, hey Rob, man, what's up? The first time I handed a condition report to a client, it was like $1,000 thing. I said, here, you need this. And they said, okay, well, when can you come back and do it? I mean, it just happened like that. I went from, $150 tuning to $1,000 regulation repair cleaning thing. And they just said, well, yeah. When do you want to come back? Now imagine had I never said that. And I think that's what a lot of people do, because they just won't say you need this. So the condition report is this paper here, and it allows you to easily, with a low key, even if you're not great at sales, you can always fill it out and say, hey, I found some things that your piano needs. And I'm not really a high pressure sales guy, so I'll just go like, hey, your piano needs this stuff. If you want to talk about it, let me know. And they say, oh, what is it? And then, oh, do you want to, oh, I don't notice this. Or you can gauge people out if you just ask them, hey, do you guys really play a lot? And they say, oh, we play every single day. This is the best. This is everything. Our whole family plays it. And, oh, okay, well, it's really doing this weird thing. And you can kind of talk to them. Yeah, you got 3 reviews. Google didn't display them because they said they determined they were fake. Was that reviews off other texts from us? Like when we put in Bolster, we put, hey, go review everybody. There was an issue with that. I think I read that. But just try to get more. I went to like a flea market last spring, and there was a dog training company there, and they were like, if you want to win this big screen TV, open up Google and give us a 5-star review. And I mean, there were thousands of people at this event, right? And everybody was like, just open up their phone. Yeah, 5 stars, 5 stars. And as soon as you showed them, they let you like put your name in. I don't know if Google would like that, but I had a couple other people say that maybe Google removed some of their reviews because they were like not fake, but they didn't make any, like they thought they were maybe fake or something, and they just emailed Google and like appealed that, and then Google put them back on there. So that was on Bolster last week. So this is sort of your successful business, and you can download a PDF from this in Bolster. Get business cards, get a car magnet. Car magnets are good. They're simple. We have those in the mentorship. All my business cards, all my postcards, all my stuff that I've used over the last 2 decades are in a Google Drive for you guys who are in the mentorship. Okay, so that's just part of the mentorship. What do I do every month? I make sure everyone's paid outstanding invoices, because they will owe me money. I remind everyone I tuned for 6 months ago to schedule their tuning. So in Gazelle, it does this, but in the beginning, I literally called them and said, and I sent postcards. So in the beginning, I called the person and said, hey, you're overdue. You got to get on this. And they, oh, okay. Or you're due, you call them like, hey, what's wrong with you? You didn't tune your piano, but I I called them. I called every single client. I only had like 20, so I called them. When 6 months came up, I looked at I tuned these people in January, and in June or whatever, I called them and I sent them a postcard, and I tried to retain them, because you have to try to retain them. And then I send upsell emails about regulations. Okay, so I send an email through MailerLite. I use MailerLite, same way I send emails to you guys. I load all my Gazelle emails in about every month or two, and I send emails and say, do you guys want a regulation? Do you want a cleaning? I sell a lot. So for example, I'll send a regulation email up to my clients in Ohio, and this is just another money thing. I will say, hey, I'm coming to town, because I'm the regulation tech at Apex. The other techs don't regulate. And I'll say, I'm coming up to Ohio next month, the 2nd through the 7th. And I have, 2 spots a day, and I will literally go up there in like 3 days, and I will make about $5,000. 3 to 6 grand is about average. So if I decide to go up there and regulate, I'll typically get 3 or 4 people, and that's, about $5,000 in 3 days. So I was doing that a lot in the beginning when I moved to Nashville. I just go up and regulate pianos once a month, and just kind of float myself for several weeks of income in 1 week. Get to see my parents, get to see. So I was doing that, and that's something that you can do. You can float it out there to your clients every year, every month. Hey, or every 3 months. Hey, I'm going to do regulations in February. So if you want to book one, I have two available: Monday the 7th and Monday the 14th. So you get specific with people in those emails, and they will book. They will say, I'll take the Monday. I'll take the Monday at 10. So it's just a selling thing for you guys to learn. Gazelle has really been the key of being able to scale bigger, and you'll be able to set up Gazelle when you're in the mentorship. I'll be showing this to you, and I'll actually give you my templates, my steady flow, what I use. But Gazelle will basically do all the communication, will be automatic, will be virtual. I tell people, probably 9 out of 10 of our clients, we never talk to them before we walk into their house. They've done this through Gazelle. So Gazelle is like a big commercial for them, but it does change your business. It has smart booking. People book you. You can say, I only want to work Monday and Friday between noon and 6, and that's the only time it's going to let people book you. And you can say stuff like, I don't want to drive more than 30 minutes or 20 minutes between appointments, and it will look at their address and look where you are at that day, and it'll say, no, they're too far away. I'll do next week. So it will batch. That's the kind of hard part when you're growing in a larger city or bigger area. You don't want to be like on the west side at 2 o'clock and then on the east side all the way at 4 o'clock. It can get hard to drive between those places. So Gazelle does that. It sends invoices. It does custom reminders, which is probably the biggest thing. My clients will say to me like, oh, thank you for doing that. Thank you for reminding me, because they won't remember, right? Once you get all this down, guys, I really do think you can say goodbye to 9 to 5. That's really the key for me, was just saying, I didn't like have a lot of jobs, but I didn't like to work either. I just wanted to have my own business. Early on, I told my wife, who's also a musician and artist, I said, I want to do something I love to do and make money at it. That was my goal. I had this sort of weird sense, and I would tell my parents when I was 10 years old. I can remember not much from my childhood, but I would ask my mom, because she'd be like complaining about work or saying, I gotta go to work or whatever. I can say that in my mom's voice, you know how moms are. She'd say like, I gotta work all day, and I was like, Mom, why do you go to work? Like, what do you gotta go to work so much for, or whatever? And she's like, well, I gotta buy the car. And I'm like, well, you need a car to why? So I can get to work. So my mom had this funny circle that she would tell me, I got to go to work to get gas, to pay the gas, to buy the car, to go back to work. And it's kind of like that. I mean, she wasn't being like real negative, but I could see early on like, it didn't make a lot of sense to me if it wasn't making me real happy to keep doing it. And that's what I wanted to do. I wanted to build my life, my creative life. I wanted to do something I wanted to do. That was it. And I know that I talk to people every week. They want to do the same thing. They're like, yeah, I got a good job, but I've talked to people who have made a lot of money in their career. And one of the guys was like, hey, I make a lot of money, but I don't ever see my family. I work all the time. Like, he's like, it's nonstop, like I can make the money. It's just nonstop. And so piano tuning is a pause from that. It really is. That's my buddy Augie. Look, I had daddy days my first 5 years of running this business. I took off Thursdays, and this is just what we did. So you stand with me for a minute. I'm going to show you a few of these pictures. This is bowling middle of the day on a Thursday. You know what I mean? Nobody's going to work. This is, I can make my own schedule. And I had a really good relationship with this guy, and I still do, but I think it's all the time we spent. And some of these early days, like I had the time with he was little. We would do pizza every Thursday. He got to know the guys at the pizza shop, and this was in Ohio when I had short hair. There's a short hair picture. Oh my goodness! But we would just do stuff together. This is from Nashville. I took him inside the studio, so he can come to work with me in some times. When I'm in the big studios, I'll bring him in and be like, "Hey, you can sit here and play your Game Boy while I tune, and then we'll go to lunch." So sometimes we just work it out where I'm like, "Hey, I need to go tune a piano," or "Hey, I need to stop in the studio and touch up these unisons. You want to come with me?" And then we'll go, get pizza. And he's always ready to go. He's ready to do something. This is him back in Ohio. This is this guy's coffee. This is a daddy day, and this is probably my favorite picture of all. But this is what it was about for me. This is right here. If I was able to be there for my son, I was able to do this. I did mess around with having a job here and there and realize like how oppressive it felt to just be stuck doing something somebody wanted me to do for their time and their money. So I just I put this in here so you guys can see like this is what it really means to me to be a piano tuner, be able to, all the numbers. I talk about numbers a lot, but at the end of the day, we have to be able to provide for our family, have to be able to have money. Everybody needs money. But we definitely don't want to live our whole lives thinking like, it's like, I don't know. I think I just got that from watching my parents work so hard and feel like they were just sort of like going on the hamster wheel. So you guys have any questions right now? We're going to go into question and answer time. We will end this in about 10 minutes. So it'll be more on time. We went over a little bit yesterday. You guys have any questions about the business of piano tuning? I'll field those out for you right now. While you're typing them in, I'm going to get through these last 4 slides. But then we'll go back to your questions. So the Apex mentorship, if you don't know a lot about it, watch the webinar. But it's a world-class learning platform. It's a social learning platform. It's a one-on-one and a group to you. So you're basically like you're learning from me. You're also learning from everybody else in the group. And when you go into Bolster, you can just type in. You can actually be like, it's similar to Facebook. You get a Facebook group, and people will be like, "Oh yeah, you go on these piano tuning Facebook groups, and people are chatting up and doing all this different stuff." But when you get into the Apex mentorship section, not the section you guys are in the boot camp. So the boot camp, you just see a little bit of stuff here, but this is like Karina's talking about. She's looking at getting a big contract with the local music store. She's asking, what should I do? What should I charge? How should I approach this? What should I look out for? This past weekend had a cool, okay. Here's Joe's post. They called him at 10 o'clock. That's a big old Steinway. Look at that thing. That's pretty. He had time. He said, yes. If you have time for, I'll have 18 more for you. So they asked him to do a couple pianos, and they said, we have 18 more. He charged them full price due to the fact of they basically didn't plan ahead. And I told him to, because he asked me. He texted me, hey, what should I do? I'm like, well, if they didn't ask for a discount or they're not pushing for one, don't offer one, especially because they need 18 pianos tuned this weekend. 10 pianos one day? No, not at all. It was a good payday though. So how many did he do? He must have done 10. 8 need to be done today. So yeah, he did about 10 pianos, it looks like, each day. So he did 18 or he did like 21 pianos. Any questions? So this is just what Bolster would do for you guys. You can say he needs a chiropractor. Yeah, he does. Wow, he had to walk. Okay. So also, all of us are just in here talking. We're actually sharing our days. I share some stuff, a little bit stuff in here too, but mostly it's like people asking me what's going on, and then I'll say, well, do this. And when you're in the mentorship, you can actually just text me. So if you're sitting at a client's house and you're in trouble, you can just text me, which that's part of what the mentorship is about. Let's see, Rob, what do you charge for a grand cleaning? I've been asked a couple of times. So grand cleaning, there is a course inside here in the mentorship for grand cleaning, and I charge $375, I think. $375 is what I think I charge. We keep raising it because people book it. So I do the best way to sell it, in my opinion, has been put it in as a tuning cleaning bundle, and it's $575. So you get your tuning fee and your cleaning fee. It's typically about $575 is what we charge. We tell them it would usually be $600, but then we give them like a $25 discount. It's called a bundle. We like save $25 when you bundle a tuning and cleaning. So $375, something like that. So what a piano regulation, Joe? Regulation is the workings of the inner part of the action. So, when we tune the piano, we're tuning the pins, and then like I have an action model here, so I can just show it to you. So when you do, and it's hard to explain this to clients probably, but when you do a regulation, you're dealing with the internal, the let off and the drop and the hammer blow and all the how far the key goes down. And what I tell people is it actually, what I tell them, if I find a piano that needs regulation, I tell them, hey, do you notice your piano is hard to play? Like when you play it soft, it doesn't really play. And they're like, yeah. Or does your piano feel heavy to you? Like, yeah, it feels really heavy. Okay, that's because your let off is wrong. And your let off, once I fix it, it'll play a lot smoother. Like it'll really change the way the piano feels. Like, really? And I've done that for a lot of people, and they say, I just thought the piano was junk. I thought that's just how the piano felt. Like I didn't know that it could be fixed. Nobody tells them. Most piano tuners won't tell their clients because a lot of piano tuners don't know how to do it. So you'll go through, it'll take a couple, 3 or 4 hours, and you'll go through every key, setting the distance of the hammer to the string, setting how far you push the key down before the jack lets off, setting how far the back check checks, setting how far the hammer is to the string, stuff like that. I forgot in my book, there's a piano action regulation handbook from Randy Potter that I give you guys, a version of it in my course that you can tell where all the regulation specs should be. So that's a regulation. Anybody else got any other questions? As I'm going through Bolster, Emerson was like, oh yeah, look, I cut punching. And I'm like, well, yeah, you can cut a little V in there. So we talk about very specific stuff about our day. And also in Bolster is where you learn. So when you go to the course, like the Rapid Voicer course, you'll see this is the actual course, so you'll click on, these are all the lessons in that one course. So you can learn on Bolster and you can watch these videos, and then you can ask questions and talk to us too, and you can chat with me. So that's basically, it's called regulation. Yes, regulation. That's what it's called. So I'm going to close Bolster there. That's kind of what Bolster is. I just showed it to you since here. That's what I was saying. It's a thriving online community. It's really changed our whole mentorship. So we have, it comes with guided courses, streaming video lessons, webinars, downloads, supplier tool accounts, progression tracking, community, and that's everything it comes with. And right now it's a 3-year program. So that first year, you're going to be tuning, you're going to be getting your first certification, you're going to be launching your business. And then year 2 and year 3, you're in the field training, working towards your master certification, certified master piano technician certification. And that's just how it works. It started out years ago as just like a 1-year thing. It was like a course. But I noticed quickly that people that are really sticking with this, like for me, it took me about 3 years to feel like a really good piano tuner. And people say that you can't be a piano tuner in 6 months. But yeah, but you can go tune pianos and in 6 months. You can go tune pianos in 3 or 4 months. People will naysay that, and industry people say you can't do it this fast. Well, I've seen multiple people do it that fast. In fact, I did it pretty quick. But having a mentor helped. I would have never made it without having a mentor. I would have never been able to. I mean, I would have made so many stupid mistakes. I'd probably be out of business 10 times. So I was using my friend Jack, my mentor, Jack, to actually make it make sense to me. I would call him, I would tell him what I'm doing. And TJ says, the community's been the greatest asset in being Apex. It brought me, I've developed incredible friendship. Yeah, we become friends. And once you're in the mentorship, you can just text me, you can text, TJ and Joe are sort of like semi-mentors in the mentorship now. So they're in there a lot. and they're actually doing their businesses. So we've got people at all different levels, and it's kind of nice to see some of you guys have been tuning pianos a long time, and like Dwayne, you've been tuning pianos a long time. I know now you're kind of in there building your business. So I've enjoyed your input because some people in the mentorship literally started tuning pianos 2 weeks ago. Or just started this week or whatever, or last month. And other people have been in there tuning pianos for 10 years and said, hey, I want to get my business. I want to build my business better. And Apex does that really well. So, so some of you guys are in there. If you want to be a part of the mentorship, you have to apply. So go to apexpiano.com, hit apply. Just because you're in the boot camp, that's just the beginning. This is just you getting to know me. And tomorrow we're going to talk about tips and tricks and of the trade. And I'm going to show you a lot of different things about it. So I like the boot camp because it gets you guys a real good chance to get to know me, and for you guys to go like, I think this is good. I think this would be good for me, or I think I could do this. And so, because I spend a lot of time on the phone, and I like that you're going through boot camp, so you get the feel of like, is this something I can do? And then we can look at your city, we can look at your life, your family, your income. I mean, I just ask you right up, how much do you want to make? And have a real conversation with you. Once you apply, you'll book a call with me. Okay. So you'll actually apply, then you'll book a call with me. It'll be one-on-one. And then that's where we can have a real deep conversation about what you want. And I can just tell you if I think it's right. I mean, I have told people I don't think this is good for you. You shouldn't probably do this. Your expectations have to be right. You have to be willing to start your own business, ready to do your own business. You have to have enough money to do the mentorship and to build your business. So if you're just totally broke and have no financing at all, it's hard. It could be hard. So we talk about those things. Also, we talk about financing because there's multiple ways that you can finance into the program. And so you can be totally broke, living in a van down by the river like TJ was, and you can still do this. So there's ways, and I work with you on that part. So that's part of the application process. You apply, you do that. So let's do this. Let's give away this thing. The Grand Obsession is today's giveaway. I'm going to give something away every day. Tomorrow I'm going to give something good. Tomorrow's boot camp will have a little bit of a sales thing at the end, but I'm also going to be giving you guys an offer that's better than the offer that's out there now. So come tomorrow. The Grand Obsession. All right, so I'm gonna write down. You have to be here. There's only 12 people. You have to be here to win, which is right now. So if you're listening, then you're here, and you have to make a comment. All right. So you have to make a comment. I know you. I'm gonna tell you guys. I already know, and then we're gonna pick a number. Real quick. So if you've already made a comment, you're fine. If you're still here, and Music Man. James, how you doing, James? I'm looking at all the comments here. TJ, Music Man, TJ. Rob, okay, Rob's in there. And so if you're still here and you haven't commented, just make a comment if you want to be in there. Hey, Andrew, how's it going? All right. I'll give you a couple more seconds. Marketing ain't easy, okay. And then Neil. Hey, Neil, how's it going, man? Yeah, you can get the giveaway. You want to be in the giveaway? You need a book. I do like books. Yeah, I did a whole book thing yesterday. All right, Leo, that's awesome. Join tomorrow. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. I think that's about it. I think that's who's in here. James, are you in there, James? I think I'm gonna pass over. Oh, James. Let's see. Did you already pass? Okay. All right. Now we're gonna ask for a number. Put me a number between 1 and 100. First person to put me a number between 1 and 100, I'm gonna count down this list. Make it over 10, and somewhere between 10 and 100. Somebody comment between 10 and 100. I know there's a lot. There's definitely a lag on this, so I may just spin a wheel till I see one. Somebody will make it. There we go. 5. Music Man, number 5. Number 5. Here we go. We're gonna count down the list. Number 5. 1, 2, 3, 4. And I can't. Wait, let's see. Who is that? All right, I've got the person. I'm just making sure I get the right person before I yell it out here. Sorry. Brandon, are you still here? Let's see here. Brandon Morton. 65. Brandon Morton, are you still in? Just comment, and all you got to do, Brandon. All right, yeah, give me. Okay, so we got number 5, and then we have. Oh, Brandon, he is here because he commented number 4. Oh, that would have been amazing. So, Brandon, you won. All you got to do is text me your address. Don't put it on this thing. There's my phone number right there. Just shoot me a text or an email. And you won the book, man. You like to read? I hope you like to read. If not, you can give it to who else likes to read? Leo. Give it to Leo. Congrats, Brandon. So tomorrow we're going to do 1:00. It'll be our third day. Brandon Morton, send me your information. If you don't, and I'm going to just believe that you'll do it, I'll follow you. I have your email, of course, I think, because you're in boot camp. So I'll reach out if I don't hear from you. And then that's today. If anybody has any questions, remember, being in boot camp is beginning session. So if you haven't applied, then you're not in the application pipeline, which you're not in the communication with me about applying. So if you feel like, yeah, I'm thinking this might be good, there's no obligation. You'll just get a chance to do one-on-one with me. I'll send you different communications in boot camp. But tomorrow you'll see, like what the whole thing costs and what kind of financing options are available if you want to pay by the month, or like, I guess I'd call them like monthly payments instead of financing. But you can use a firm, you can use monthly payments, and you can just pay up front. Also, guys, I have this month, and let me know if you're interested, because I have some AccuTuners on coming to me now. They're very hard to get. It's extremely hard to get them even repaired. Right now they're just backed up, but I've got a couple that I acquired this month, and so I'll be putting those in bundles. But since you're here, you're kind of getting to know if you think like, I want to do this and I want an AccuTuner, because I'm going to make a couple bundles. I'll have one available tomorrow. I think I'll have a bundle to get, but there's only like one of them or two of them. All right, James. Yeah, keep doing it, man. All right, so let me know. Also, if you're interested in that, tomorrow I'll probably throw a bundle out. Okay. But like I said, it's I only get some of them sometimes, and then I stick them in a bundle for people who really want to do the mentorship and get a whole toolkit with an AccuTuner, maybe with a tuning hammer, with the carbon fiber tuning hammer and AccuTuner. And I have at least one AccuTuner available right now, at least one, and maybe 2, but I might spread it out because like I said, some of them are in for getting repair. So I know one, Micah, is still waiting for his AccuTuner, and I'm going to have to send him one because the repair time is so long on those things. I think it's been 3 months in repair. So I'm either going to get it back, or I've got another one here I'm going to send him. That'll happen tomorrow. So let me know what you guys think. See you, James. Everybody, I'll see you guys on the live stream tomorrow at 1:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. Thanks for sticking around. I hope it was information that inspired you, and that you're like getting more excited about changing your career, getting your up in your thing, doing your thing. If it's for you, it's for you, and I'll be excited to help you out. If you're ready to apply on